Oh, hi there! I was just browsing through my Rooms of Wonder coloring book by Johanna Basford. And you can see I have never really gotten into coloring in the book. What all of the pages have in common here in Rooms of Wonder is that they are filled with a lot of details, some of them very tiny details. They are very busy. There are a lot of things going on these pages. And how are you going to make a coloring that makes the page look coherent and not messy and chaotic? My name is Katja, I'm CatColouring, and a warm welcome back to my channel. This episode of Tips and Tricks for Beginner Colorists is all about those busy pages and what you can do to turn them from chaotic and messy into coherent and clear coloring pages. We will begin by just looking at a page in Fairy Touch of Magic by Clara Markova. This page I have used contrast to create a focal point. I have chosen the armchair and this little elf or fairy to be the focal point in this drawing. Clara Markova's drawings are always really busy with a lot of details, so this lilac color certainly gives us the impression that something important is happening here. And then I have kept the fairy or elf in very light colors: light skin, light hair color, pink, and a light pink dress. She crochets one of these butterfly chrysalises, and this is also lilac. Then you can see that she is surrounded by more dark colors. We have a somewhat darker mossy green forest floor here, and then we have the dark of the branches and the leaves up in the trees, and also dark blue berries. Then to create a little more contrast, we have a light map hanging here, and we also have the light color down here with the rest of the maps. I have brought a little pop of color up here in the corner with some other colors for these butterfly chrysalises and also these larvae. And you can see the lilac color being used also up here with the pillow together with the pink. So the colors from the fairy is also up here. And then the background is sort of a, well, not pale blue, but a sort of palish blue. So this is one way by using dark and lighter colors to create a contrast. In Årstider by Maria Trolle, I have created the focal point on this page with the house. I have used a warm red color for the house and warm yellow for the light flowing out from the windows, and the house is surrounded by the very light colors for the sky and also a lot of snow where I have used blue colors. In Seasons by Hannah Carlson, I have created the focal point in a different way. I have chosen to color monochromatic, so I have used only blue hues and some white highlights, of course, to create this page. The focal point is, of course, the gemstone and the bird colored in all of these dark blue colors. Then I have used the light blue colors for this sort of frame and all of the flowers, and created a lot of white highlights with the flowers. And the background is just a normal blue watercolor background where I have mixed a couple of different blue colors, both light and dark, but diluted with water so it doesn't ruin the focal point of this dark gemstone and the bird. In Magical Dawn, I have recently made this mermaid, and you can see the focal point is, of course, her face. So this face is the lightest here in the drawing, and then I have used a lot of different color families, both from the same color family and others, to create a more muted sort of surroundings with her hair and all of these sort of seashells. And then I have added a couple of bright colors like the spring green, and we have some teal colors, and of course these purple, dahlia purple, and dark purple and lavender for the fish, to create some contrast to the face that we see here. So this is also a way how you can create a focal point in your drawing, yet again with light and with dark and muted color hues. Now that I have shown you these examples of pages where I have used a focal point, I will show you the entire process. And I will be using Johanna Basford's new coloring book, Inklings. This is because Rooms of Wonder, which I showed you in the beginning of the video, is simply a big coloring book with a lot of things on a page, and I simply cannot color a page from that book in a short video like this. So that will be another time. But I have chosen this page. And how do you choose a focal point? Well, you identify the very first thing you want people to notice in the drawing. And in this drawing, it's one of two things. It could either be the mushroom or it could be the house. In this case, I am choosing the house as a focal point, simply because we have a lamp outside of the house and I can see we have stars in the background. This means this is a night scene. So if I want any attention to the light shining out from this house, I will have to make it the focal point. This means it's going to be the center of the drawing. And how do I create the focal point? Well, I use contrast in the colors, as I have shown you with the other examples you have just seen. This means that I will have light and bright colors up here, and then they will turn darker when we get away from the light. The mushroom also has to be colored in darker colors, so it doesn't take any attention away from the house, which is my focal point. I will now color this drawing from beginning to end using my Prismacolors, and I will show you exactly how I create this focal point by using contrast between light and dark colors. I will of course speed up the process, so this video will not be too long. The entire list of colors I'm using will be down in the description box. Let's get started. As you can see here in the beginning, I use the canary yellow and then the lemon yellow for the windows of the house and of course for the lamp. And you can see that I create some light and shine with the lemon yellow around the lamp. This is to create this light around my focal point. I also create some reflection down on the top of the leaves with the lemon yellow. On the roof, I use three different red colors. I use first the carmine red because it is a lighter red color and I use it just around this light from the lamp. Then I switch to crimson red and then a bit of Tuscan red on the other side of the roof because we have more shadow over here. I use a light umber on the door and of course on the chimney I use the black, and I ease the pressure of the black when it gets to the bottom of the chimney because we do have a light area down here. For the rest of the house I use the light ochre and I use the mineral orange to create some warmth in the house, and I also use a little bit of some goldenrod. Then I turn down to the leaves and I use the dark green and also the peacock green. So I first use the dark green for the top of the leaves, and the bottom of the leaves I use the peacock green, and I use a little bit of the apple green at the leaves with this yellow reflection from the lemon yellow. So it's all about using the darkest colors and then use gradients, of course, with light colors around the light source, and then use a lot of very dark colors and darken them even further using a black coloring pencil. For the mushroom, I use Tuscan red. I cover the entire mushroom in Tuscan red except for the dots, of course. Then I use the black to color on top of the Tuscan red, of course, with a light hand, but you have to see that you have a layer of the black, and then I use the Tuscan red again and blend it all together and create this very dark shadowy red color for the mushroom. I also use the black for the mushroom stem, and then I use French gray 90% and French gray 70% for the stem to create some darker colors here. I also use black for shadows underneath the leaves on top of the mushrooms, and of course around the edges of that mushroom. Then I turn back to that lamp and I use the sky blue light to create a bit of some light night sky around the lamp. I also do it next to the smaller window at the other side. I use a little bit of not photo blue just to create some sort of gradient when I begin using the very dark blue indigo, or indigo blue it's called. So a little light layer of non-photo blue, and then I use the indigo blue for the entire night sky. And of course I will speed this process up a bit because it does take quite a while. But you have to use a light hand and put a layer of that indigo blue for the entire night sky from bottom to top. When I am finished with this, I of course use an imperial violet and blue violet lake for these sort of bellflowers hanging down from above. I use the peacock green for the stems of these sort of bellflowers, and as you can see I put the blue violet lake, the lightest of the colors, at the bottom of the petals, and the imperial violet for the rest, and I do press a bit hard because they are going to be quite dark. Then I turn to the rest of the flowers, and they are all going to be colored with the violet. So I first use the violet, but the flowers that are near the lamp, I switch to lilac, and those petals that are nearest the lamp, they get a color with the lilac. So it's a lighter color, and then I color the rest of all of the flowers with the violet. Later on in the video, I also color it black, all of these petals and all of the flowers, to give them a darker color. And at the end I actually decided to switch to dioxazine purple hue for most of the flowers all the way down at the bottom. Now I use that beautiful dark peacock green to color all of the leaves, and then I switch to beginning to add those dark shadows with the black coloring pencil. I simply color the top of the night sky, and after that I color the bottom of the night sky with the black pencil. So I will of course get a more dark gradient, because after that I of course give it another layer with the indigo blue. But I did this other layer with the indigo blue off camera, because otherwise the video would have been way too long. Next I use the dark green to color some of these smaller leaves down at the bottom, and of course I also use the black to give all of the leaves, whether they are colored with peacock green or dark green, a layer with that black, because the black pencil is really the best one for creating these very dark color hues I want. And then of course they will get another layer, a top layer of the green color. And finally, I have now reached the last leaves on the top of the drawing, and they are all getting a layer of the peacock green, except for the lowest of the leaves the one that is closest to the lamp, I save some room for the dark green color and a little bit of the apple green for the side of the leaf turning towards the lamp. But otherwise, all of the rest of the leaves, a layer with the peacock green, then of course a layer with the black coloring pencil, and then off camera I simply finished the entire page by coloring on top with all of these colors, and then you can see the finished result in just a minute. To prevent your coloring pages from getting messy and really chaotic, because you just get a lot of color down and you don't really think about the page, choose a focal point, an anchor in your coloring page, and create a lot of contrast by using light and dark colors. Don't be afraid to use the black coloring pencil to create extra darkness and shadows to really highlight the focal point in your drawing. And if you do this, then your coloring page will not be messy and chaotic. It will be calm, it will be in order, and it will give you much more meaning and fulfillment. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Tips and Tricks for Beginner Colorists, how to choose a focal point in your coloring page. I really hope that you got something out of it, and I hope that you like the video enough to give it a like, a thumbs up. Helps my channel so much, and I am really appreciative of all of the likes that I get, because it helps my channel and the algorithm to push this video out to more colorists who will benefit from this video. More episodes of Tips and Tricks for Beginner Colorists are of course coming, so be sure to be subscribed to my channel and hit that notifications bell. It really do work sometimes, so you are sure not to miss any of my videos. Also, if you are new here and just happen to stumble upon this video, check out the playlist on my channel, including the playlist with all of the videos in this series, and consider subscribing. Until I see you in the next video, have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Happy coloring. Bye.